would you still support Bill 37 and the commercial of the paper money if to pay it back, property taxes had to be raised? Would your answer and testimony here before us today be, go ahead, raise property taxes for this rail? Yes or no?
I think I'll let Dan Gobrovsky from
What's your answer?
answer that.
What's your answer? Do you want property taxes raised to pay for this rail? Yes or no?
Well, we know that when this was done, it says that only the GT surcharge and federal funds will be used. And we hope that HART will only use the GT surcharge and federal funds.
So
we hope that no property tax will be used.
Okay, you hope.
Yeah.
Is it a guarantee?
Nothing is guaranteed in life, sir.
So the answer, let's assume that in the power play back and forth in this, that in the event that property taxes would have to be raised in order to generate revenue to pay for this paper commercial monies, or even the contingency on the contingency, do you still support your testimony, your backers, the people you represent? Do you support a raise in property taxes for this rail? Yes or no?
Well, we support it, and we just hope that property tax money won't be used.
And in the event property taxes came into play,
then we would be disappointed, but we need the rail.
At all costs?
At all costs.
So you would be in favor of raising property taxes to pay for rail, if it came to that, correct? Yes or no?
I have to abstain on that.
Which is like asking everyone to co-sign a loan. This is a full faith and credit of the city. So Councilmember Berg is right. If this is not repaid, we're going to have to raise property tax, because what other way where can we get money to back up the city's credit?
Any discussion, members? Councilmember Berg, you have 15 seconds left. No, you have your full 5 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
I do want to be brief, and you've heard me elaborate on this before. And that has to do with some of the testifiers here. They don't have a tipping point, Chair and members. They want rail at any cost. No matter what the voter voted on in 2008, they want this rail because they say we need it, and we have to, quote one of the testifiers, sacrifice.
But you're going to have to make sacrifices for this.
I definitely understand that position, that when you believe in something, that it's important that you back it up and you provide the necessary funding for it. Many of the other rail lines have a bigger population than we do, and they're only getting 20,000 people a day to ride this rail. Did you know from James Campbell High School that the city is telling us they're going to get 116,000 people riding on this rail a day, and that's how they're going to make the operations and maintenance pay off, when cities bigger than us can only get 20,000 a day. So are you telling me I shouldn't be concerned on this $450 million line of credit? Because the way to pay it back has been, you're going to get 116,000 people riding this rail. But we're dealing with something different here. And that is that those that are advocating for this rail, I'm going to make this statement. You're very afraid of putting this on the ballot. You pro-railers, the last thing you want is this on the ballot because you know the public doesn't want it. You know that for a fact. When Pacific Resource Partnership smeared me and made false allegations against me in a poll, the vote was still against the rail, even though they did everything in their power. They'll go up and down my neighborhoods, the pro-railers, and they're, what I've been told, intimidating homeowners. are you for this rail or not? And when they say, I'm not for this rail, where do you live? What's your name? I got your address. There has been a movement, and like I said, Pacific Resource Partnership has failed to come to this microphone since I exposed the illegal push-pull. They know that if they come to this microphone, they're going to be on record. And there's a reason why Pacific Resource Partnership doesn't want to go on record. Because what they did was against the law. Plain and simple. You cannot knowingly, with intent, provide false information to sway the voting public. And that's exactly what they did. And I just want to tell you that when I talk about the $100 million that they've taken thus far, the state legislature, the plan is to take $350 million. So a green light today on Bill 37 says, I support the state profiteering off the tax. That's what a yes vote on Bill 37 says. It also says, I support an award to Ansaldo, which is $241 million more than Bombardier, because that contract was signed 2 to 3 months after HART came into existence. The award was before HART came into existence, but HART could have said, you know what, let's just disqualify Ansaldo. They're not licensed to do business in the state of Hawaii. And they could have saved $241 million right off the bat. HART is not asking for the $241 million. Nobody here wants to tell the legislature to give back the 100 and basically nullify the contract to actually take $350 million when it's all said and done up to the year 2022. So now I'm at the point where, what do I tell my constituents? They were told in an EIS 6 days before the vote in 2008 that at this very month, this very juncture, there'd be some 12,000 people working on this project. We got less than 600, and 40% of them aren't from here. When you add everything up, the EV, the court cases, you add it all up, Section 106, the properties. Why did the judge members the other day dismiss only a handful of those properties in that court case? Seems to me when I hear the attorneys, of which I continuously vote no, I don't want to be paying these attorneys with our tax dollars to defend what I truly believe the city has erred on. So my time is ticking down. I meant to be real kind and polite and smile and just try to convince my colleagues, don't do it. Please, just don't do it. You can still be pro-rail. You can still want this rail. But a yes vote today, and I'm going to wrap up with this, a yes vote today says, I applaud the city, I applaud the state profiteering off the tax. I applaud Ansaldo, shaky ground, so what, $241 million more than Bombardier. I don't mind that there isn't 12,000 jobs. I don't really care that 40% of the jobs are going out of state. And then the debt service was raised. I don't care we pay 4.25% on the bonds that we have to borrow. And now let's just do a line of credit. So when you heard the testifiers come here today and says, I want rail, I have a tipping point. My constituency has a tipping point. We can all get along and be pro-rail. But when do you say, at what cost? At what expense? When do you break? When are you going to break as a council member and say, rail is no longer what it should be? It's a runaway train, members. This is reckless behavior. It's not a financially sound project. I am in all opposition to this rail. Thank you, Chair. I'll be voting no to Bill 37.